Greetings everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Challenges Guide. For those who are new to this series, the Weekly Challenges are a set of 5 races that usually go up every week, Thursday night, Friday morning, depending on your region there. And these usually consist of 4 races that can already be found within the game, while the 5th one is usually a specially made one, only live for that particular week. And the purpose of these guides is to basically give you an overview as to what these races offer. These range from tire wear, fuel use, drivetrain specific cars, or even turbo specific cars and so forth. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And we kick things off with the Japanese FF Challenge 450. This is a 3-lap race around Tokyo Expressway Central counterclockwise. And for this, you will need a road car from Japan with an FF drivetrain, as the name suggests. So, there's these examples. From here, I'm going to choose the Civic Type R FK8 here. This is a car that I usually tend to use for these, as it feels very comfortable to me. Nothing setup-wise, just stock. And the corners you should consider, well, if you remember last week, also involved Civics on this very exact same track. So all the exact same notes from that exact same race will apply right here. The gears used, the turns, and even all the spots where the AI will usually give you the most trouble. So, if you'll remember all that, then those same notes will apply here. It's the same. Next, the race of turbo sports cars. And as the name implies, cars with turbo. 5-lap race at Grand Valley Highway 1 reverse, and has 700 performance points or less with a turbocharger. As pointed out, here's some of the examples you can see here. Now for this example, we're going to bring back out here this Mercedes AMG GTR. This is my GT4 build that I have done. And as you can see here, basically just takes the default setup from the SLS Route 4 car with some adjustments. And corners to consider here include turn 1 being a 5th gear corner depending on your tune. And you can kind of lift through the bridge, but you'll definitely have to be a little careful. Turns 3 and 4 and 5, some tight lefts and corners there. Those are 6 as well. But of course, the main trouble spots are 4 and 5 and 6, 7 through 9, as well as 8 and 10. So be careful. Next, the Nissan GTR Cup. And this, as you advised, involves the Nissan GTR. 5-lap race at Blue Moon Base Speedway, Infield A reverse. And obviously, of course, you'll need sports tires, 700 performance points or less, as long as it's one of these cars right here. So, for this example, I'm going to pull out my usual trusty GTR Nismo 17 that I usually use just to get these out of the way and so forth. Obviously, I can't use the racing cards as I usually would. So, not a lot of cars to consider here. Just 1 and 2, probably the most dangerous one to really look at. And then 3 and 4, a series of tight corners. 5, which is a very, very tight one to switch around at about 3rd to 4th gear. And then of course the final one going right back onto the banking. The next, World Touring Car 800, as usual the longest race of these. 3-lap race around the Nürburgring Endurance, making it really long this time around. 5 times fuel use, 6 times tire wear, and all the tires you could use. 800 performance points or less, and it's essentially Group 3 cars, with 1 shortcut penalty. So for this, I wanted a challenge, so I'm going to go with the Lexus RCF GT3. And just to make things a little harder, I'm going to start the race on hards, on the Nürburgring. And so, there's a lot of corners. surface here, so I'm not going to worry too much about detailing a lot of corners. I'll just say this: if you want an AI trouble spot, basically the entire Nord slide. If possible, you'll want to try to get your passing done mainly on the Grand Prix circuit itself, because otherwise this place is very narrow. So if you're not really super skilled and this track is a bit daunting for you, you're probably going to want to play this on the easy, just so you can get all those cars done on the Grand Prix circuit. And for the special event, Peugeot 205 GTI 1. It's a 4-lap race at Eiger, Nordward, and consists of the Peugeot 208 GTI. So, as per usual, I'm going to pull out my rally build here that you might have seen on my Motor Short. So it's all stock sports mediums. Usually feels pretty good driving it like this. And as for the corners to consider on this particular circuit, the first series of corners there, 1 through 4. A lot of tight corners in this particular section there. So a lot of second gear driving there. Turn 5, you can take that in 3rd gear, but also be very wary of how that banks and how that corner comes up. 6 and 7 is a left and right. And then of course 8, the final tight corner there. And the trouble spots are really those main tight 2 corners, as well as the final one, with how finicky the AI can be. So anyway, that is it for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed it, whether you've just logged in to these races or you haven't played the game in quite some time. If you like this, then well, give it a like. And if you want to see more, subscribe, as I make these every Friday. That's it from me. I will see you guys in the next video.